For centuries, medics and medical personnel have been regarded as immune to the chaos that consumes a soldier on the battlefield. They work tirelessly to offer scant comfort for the wounded and the dying. The House of Healing in Rythwin served as a place of sanctuary for the enemy and ally alike. Here they tended to the wounded without regard for faction or allegiances, and for a short while the House of Healing prospered. But as the darkness began to win, the beds soon began to fill at an alarming rate. Supplies began to dwindle and eventually cease altogether. The Shadow Curse won, and what remained of the hospital either decayed away or became part of the curse. The House of Healing was a key stronghold for Ketheric Thorm's ambitions, and despite the curse, maintains its station as a key stronghold for preserving the shadows. Undead linger within these halls, veiled in shadow, guarding secrets as dark as the curse that envelops them. Let's tell a story. 100 years ago, General Thorm wasn't a general of the undead army, but Governor Ketheric Thorm, Selenite leader of Rythwin Town. He, his wife, and his daughter Isabel were devout Selenites and spent their days as any regular family until tragedy would strike the Thorms as Ketheric's wife suddenly passed away, followed shortly by his daughter Isabel. In his grief, he turned to Shar, who in turn gave him the power to bring total darkness to the lands, and the terrible Shadow War was fought, ultimately leading to Ketheric Thorm's defeat. But someone or something had a different plan for the general, and 100 years later he was resurrected. Upon resurrection, he no longer had any allegiance to Shar, and sought the allegiance of Merkel, god of the dead, who granted him the power and knowledge to not only prolong his own life, but to resurrect his daughter, Isabel. Corruption drives deep tendrils into the hearts of the ambitious. Ketheric Thorm was a very ambitious general and didn't hesitate to utilize whatever was necessary to conquer his goals. In partnership with Lady Shar, the goddess of darkness, Ketheric Thorm fueled the Shadow Curse, which conquered Rythwin and the surrounding areas. He would send Balthazar deep into Shar's temple to continue his bidding as he hid among the shelter of the Absolute. But others were not so fortunate, and whether by choice or necessity, they were unable to flee. The Shadow Curse rolled terrifyingly across the land, consuming everything in its path except for a select few individuals and places deemed worthy by Shar. Shar extended a small mercy to those operating under her banner and allowed them a continued existence, if you can call it that, within Rythwin, where they aimlessly wander in their respective buildings, doomed to exist, presumably, forever. At the height of the war, the House of Healing provided sanctuary amidst the turmoil. Here, the injured could find solace and care desperately needed. All found refuge at the House of Healing in Rythwin. 100 years ago, Ketheric Thorm's corruption of Rythwin had not gone unnoticed. Rumblings of a secret society of Shar worshippers reached the ears of Duke Elten, leader of the Flaming Fist, who dispatched an agent to investigate the rumors. Setting out with his lute in hand, Art Kulla ventured to Rythwin Town to investigate the spreading corruption and locate the Sharan enclave rumored to be nestled within the town. He rented a room at the Last Light Inn and started his investigation, beginning with the House of Healing. Presumably, he must have asked one too many questions and was poisoned to sleep by Malus Thorm, the head surgeon of the House of Healing, and robbed of his precious loot before being tossed aside at the mercy of the curse. Malus Thorm is the master surgeon of the House of Healing and Ketheric's uncle. He is a twisted undead creature who somehow managed to retain his personality despite the Shadow's curse. In present day, when we arrive to the Shadowlands, he exists in the amphitheater of the House of Healing, surrounded in his hospital by his undead assistants, which he trains to use the scalpel as a means of worshipping Shar. In life, he wielded authority over the House of Healing, orchestrating its transition from a haven for all to a domain exclusively dedicated to the service of Ketheric Thorm. He also used the House of Healing as a way for him to experiment on innocent people so that he may better perfect his craft of worship. Based on several notes of documentation, Malus Thorm cruelly denied aid to all except the Dark Justiciars of Ketheric's army. Even his own nurse, Sister Anna Lidwin, secretly wrote an urgent letter to Baldur's Gate seeking aid. She knew that, despite being a priestess of Shar herself, it was her duty to mend all who break, comfort all who ail, without regard for the gods they worship or the champions they heed. At one time, Sister Lidwin embodied kindness, driven by a genuine desire to help others, yet the insidious influence of the shadow curse twisted her perception of the world. We find her within the House of Healing, standing over 2 corpses, which she claims as her patients. Upon looking further, we know them as Arabella's parents, who fled into the shadow curse upon being ambushed, separating themselves from Arabella in the chaos. If you cast Speak with Dead, Locke, Arabella's father, confirms that they were attacked by the nurses upon entering the building, but Sister Lidwin seems to think they are very much alive. It's clear the teachings of Malus Thorm and Shar have had an influence on the nurses here, and Malus Thorm's teachings dictate that absence is the true way of Shar. He teaches that in the darkness is peace. He is a true follower of Shar, so much so that he sees himself as the final lesson. In his private journal, he writes that he will become the subject fully laid bare for his students to consult, examine, and dissect, and passing a few difficult persuasion checks will lead to Malus's demise, whether by his own hand or that of his assistants. He enthusiastically demonstrates his conviction to Shar and Shar's way, but I really have to wonder, if Malus Thorm is so committed to Shar, wouldn't he have been upset by Ketheric's betrayal? I'm surprised there are no lines of dialogue which allow us to explore the encounter by reminding Malus of Ketheric's betrayal to the Sharan cause. We know Shar is not very forgiving, and I can't imagine one of her most fanatic and devout followers would be any different. So let me know down below if you have any other ideas or theories that might explore this idea. Devotion to malevolent forces is not a new theme in the Forgotten Realms, but it is one that always captures stories of incredible bravery in the face of adversity. As Ketheric faced his inevitable defeat and unfurled the shadows across the land, one benevolent, protective forest spirit, Thaniel, used his last bit of energy to protect Ardculla and send a message of desperation: bind Halsin, before his spirit was sundered in 2, leaving one half in the Shadowlands and the other trapped in Shar's domain, the Shadowfell. If you journey through Halsin's questline, you will rescue Thaniel, who eventually rejoins with his other half to become one again. With Thaniel made whole and Ketheric Thorm defeated once more, the land will begin to heal, ushering in a new era of prosperity on the Blighted Lands. Hopefully, in this new dawn, the House of Healing will resupply and reopen its doors once more, this time as a true safe haven for the broken, the beaten, and the damned. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more interesting information about the House of Healing, I'd love to hear what you have to say down below. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with me, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, or commenting down below. I really love reading everyone's comments and looking at all the discussion these kinds of videos can create. You guys are awesome. Have a good day, or have a good evening, and roll a 20.